We anchored in two very different places on this leg of our trip through the Abacos. The first was, well, let's just say we didn't stay long. The second reminded us exactly why we love cruising the Bahamas.
One look in your eyes and I find it. When you leave in my mind I rewind it. When you got it this good, you don't fight it.
Well, we are on our way to Mangrove Cay. We just left West End, Old Bahama Bay marina area, about an hour and a half ago, maybe. It's not a real long run. We're only going about a little over 3 hours today to go to Mangrove. We're going to drop a hook there. But we had a blast over at West End. You know, we hung out there for a couple of days. We anchored out, and each day we went into town, went and had dinner, and we also ran into fellow YouTubers, Jen and Dave from Explorado. In fact, Lynn and I just discovered their channel maybe 2 months ago, something like that, and I've watched a couple of their videos, and they're lots of fun. They're like us. They're in a powerboat and they're kind of exploring. They were heading back. They had just come from, I think they were down in Turks and Caicos for a while, and they explored the Bahamas. They were heading back to the United States. So we only got to hang out for a night together. But it's a cool channel. Check it out. Anyway, we're going to be in Mangrove Cay. I'm going to say probably in about an hour. We don't have that much further to go. It's maybe a little bit choppy out here, but not, I don't know, 2 footers. It's, you know, a bit windy, but we're going to try and position ourselves to anchor on the leeward side of the island, whatever side that is when I get there. I think it's going to be the north side. I believe the winds are coming from the south right now, and we're going to see if we can find a little anchorage here to kind of protect us from the wind a little bit. And it looks like we're going to get there in the middle of the afternoon, so I guess we're going to have a nice quiet time there, and then the next day we're going to set sail for Great Sail. Okay, the next day we're going to set sail for Great Sail, which is only a few hours away as well. Anyway, until then.
Yes, sir. We're island hopping.
Another thing I wanted to mention too, at Old Bahama Bay, we anchored out the same place we did last time, which is kind of the northern side of the island there. It's a little strip close to the beach. And the reason we chose to anchor out is the last 2 times we went there, the marina was packed. In fact, I think we were there 3 times. Once, we couldn't get in last year or the year before. Whenever the last time we tried to go there, we couldn't even get in. There was not a slip for us. The time before that, I think they had one. It was a jam-packed marina. And the time before that, it was real busy. So we didn't even attempt it this time. We just anchored out since we did it last 2 years ago. Anyway, we get into the marina, and there's hardly any boats there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe 10% full. And I don't know if this is still just a repercussion of the Bahamas raising their fees so high. As you probably know, they dropped them back down. There was a point, I used to pay $350 a season to come here on our trip for this boat, including a fishing license. They raised it up to $1,650 for my boat, and everyone was going crazy about that, and I wasn't happy either. But then they changed it, and they lowered a little bit more, and then on April 1st, they lowered it back down to practically where it was. In fact, it was $350 again for my boat, but now they're charging $100 for anchoring fees. That's fine, and they're also charging money for fishing, but we really don't do fishing, so we're not paying that. So the whole thing's going to come to $450 for me, which isn't bad. But I'm wondering if why the marina is so empty is that even though they just recently lowered the fees, people probably made plans already. You know, maybe they decided, hey, we're going to do the Keys, we're going to go to Dry Tortugas or the Cases or something like that this year instead of the Bahamas, and So even though they've changed course and gone back to the old fees, basically, it might just be a little bit too late to save this season. I don't know. We'll see. We're got a lot of more places to go, and I'll keep you informed of whether or not we're seeing a lot of boats or not.
What are you making?
I am making a mango rum drink, mango juice, in honor of Mango Cay. So,
It's Mangrove Cay.
that's right, it's Mangrove Cay.
That's all right. We'll call it Mangrove. We'll call it Mango. Hey, cheers. Cheers, guys. Okay. Came out of nowhere. I think I knew these storms were going to come past. But what's not good now is the wind totally switched us. This storm totally switched us. And the island's back there. So that's NFG. You can't really see anything, but we're on anchorage right now because we were watching some movies that Ed downloaded and it got really rough. So we figured we should be at the helm. Right, Ed? Ed's over there in the blackness.
Yeah, no, it's not terrible or anything, but there's a squall running through, and we're getting hit on the side with waves. So better to be up here just in case I need to start the engines or something. But so far the anchor's holding well. We haven't budged. I got 2 anchor alarms out. Both say we haven't moved.
Yeah. So the Mantus is doing us right, and thank God we got that thicker chain. So we have a boat over there, a sailboat that's also going through it. And the odd part is that it twisted us totally around, and we have the land behind us now. So that's NFG. So yeah, we're just holding on. So it probably doesn't look as bad as it is, because that's, I guess, how film works. But see, we're bucking pretty good. We're supposed to leave now, and it looks like another storm is passing, and there's no freaking way I'm getting out there with these little, it's too much. It bounced me right off the bow. So I guess we're leaving later today to wait till it calms down some. Hey, Ed. Hun. Oh. Hey, Ed. Filming. Just to let you know, this is when we would be leaving. But unless you want me to bounce off the front of the bow. Yeah. So we're just gonna have to wait for it to calm down. I noticed that the catamarans also staying put. It's just too dangerous to lift an anchor in this. It's oh, there you are. It's time to get up.
You may notice Lynn using a gaff to keep the anchor chain moving. Since installing the new heavier chain, it doesn't fall properly into the anchor locker. Instead, it bunges up and has to be helped down as we retrieve the anchor. We'll reroute the chain to a deeper section of the locker when we get back, but for now, it's just one of those annoying little jobs that comes with cruising. Well, it's a little bit choppy out here. We are back on the water, and we left Mangrove Cay this morning, a couple hours ago. We are currently on our way to Pensacola Cay, Allen-Pensacola, where we plan to drop a hook. At least that's the plan. We're going to see how we feel about the water and the wind when we get there, but I think that's what we're going to be doing. We have a backup plan. If not, we're going to head over, I think, to Coopertown and get protected from some west winds. Anyway, it was an interesting night. It started out very, very smooth. We anchored out leeward of the island, very little winds. It was nice and calm. But somewhere, I don't know, it was around maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night, a large storm rolled through. I thought at first it was just going to be, like an hour, like usually these squalls are around here. But I'll tell you, it lasted like 3 or 4 hours, and it was pretty nasty. We were getting some pretty good waves on us, and it was coming from the opposite way. In other words, I should have been on the other side of the island, but that's not what Windy was predicting. Sometimes you just don't know when these squalls come through. But we were leeward of the island. Turned out no problem at all. The Mantus anchor did not budge an inch. I'll put up a picture of our screen, our anchor alarm. But, the thing is, when something like this happens, you have kind of a choice. You could pull the anchor and then move to the other side of the island to get protection, or you can stay. Now, the problem with pulling the anchor is now you're in a storm, there's a lot of tension on that chain, and you're out there bouncing around in the dark, and, that's kind of risky. And all that just so you go to the other side of the island. The other choice, and the one we made, was, well, we'll deal with it. We just stayed up until the storm. We anchor watched until the storm passed. I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Usually we don't do regular straight through anchor watches. You really can't. If you're a cruising couple, you'll just never fall asleep. So, but usually what we do in a normal anchorage is we have alarms set, multiple alarms set, and we'll take turns getting up every few hours, just checking on things with a flashlight. But when a storm like this comes through, a squall, that means we are awake on the bridge, ready to start the engines just in case there's an emergency. So that's what we did. It ended around 1 o'clock, and then we went to bed. About 5 o'clock, another storm came through. So we spent the morning waiting for that to pass, and as soon as it did, we pulled the anchor up and then started heading out. So we're about an hour behind schedule, but we're looking forward to Pensacola. We were there a couple of years ago with our friends Jerry and Chris, and we were only there a short time period. We didn't really get a chance to explore the island that much, so we're hoping to get there a little bit earlier this time and maybe hike across to the ocean side and see what's there. So see you there.
Roger out.
Because we're not exactly in the best position. Our butt towards the land.
No, I don't like to be windward, but nobody else here wants to be windward either. But the winds are supposed to only be about 8 knots. I know I told that story once before.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? But we have the right anchor this time, and we're set well. And, you know, it's not like it out there. We are a little protected from, we got rocks and some reefs. We've got a little island thing there.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if the wind shifts a little bit east, then we'd be completely blocked. But
Yeah.
we're here in Allen-Pensacola. We just docked just a little offshore there, and we came to the same spot we came to a couple of years ago. I don't know what you call this place, but it's decorated with trash.
We call it Trash Island.
Anyway, yep, we're here. We're going to go explore. And last time we came here, I forgot to wear shoes, and we couldn't do the path because I was barefoot. You really can't traverse this area without shoes on. So I was thinking ahead now, and I got my old beat-up pair of Sperry's with me. So we're going to cross the island and see what's on the other side.
We made it back, and it was sporty. It was definitely sporty.
Yeah, I guess, you know, it's the waves here right now, maybe 1.5 footers, which is nothing in a big boat. But when you're in a dinghy, 1.5 footers, they're breaking over the bow, you know. So we got wet, but that was fine. It was fun exploring this island. We came here about 2 years ago for friends Chris and Jerry, but we didn't get a chance to explore the other side of the island, which we did now.
We still had a blast.
And yeah, it's really cool over there. You take what's called Maddie's Path.
Maddie's Track.
Which is just, you think it's, if you look on a map, it looks like it's only about a quarter mile, a bit less. But when you actually do it, it's longer because this path goes like
drunken
circle,
sailor
he
walking.
makes figure eights, and then, you know. But eventually you get to the other side, which is real nice, and then you can walk along the I don't say it's much of a beach. It's more like you know, lava rock, whatever that stuff is. But it's fun, you know. So we did that, and the path is well marked. It's marked by trash. Basically, people take things that are junk and put them on trees. You know, like a water bottle or beer can, or occasionally a sneaker or something. And so you follow this junk path through, and that's how you find it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do want to get here early.
Yeah, get here early. The reason is I think there's a lot of mosquitoes that come out at night. We were here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when we were out there, and I could store this film. I got bit a couple of times, so I'm thinking, wow, at night they must really come out here. And that's what I heard as well. So yeah, get here early, check it out. If you come here, it's a good, the hold here is good. I mean, we're anchored windward right now up this island.
Everyone
is. And you can see that towards the island. I don't like to do that. But there's 8 boats here or whatever, and we're all anchored the same way, and the hold's really good, and I'm not overly concerned about it. The winds are going to be light tonight. But so the hold's good. Definitely a cool place to stop, and it's our last stop on our way to Turtle Cay, which I think we're going to do early tomorrow. We're going to leave for Turtle Cay.
Yeah, we're going to leave there early because we want to get there when the tide's reasonable. That's about it. We're drinking our blue martinis. What do we call these? I think we call these mermaid martinis.
You can call them what you want.
Yeah, I can call them anything I want. So, mermaid martinis. And we're just settling down. We're going to have leftovers from a dinner we had at West End. That was really good. It was just too much. So, I'm looking forward to that because that's easy peasy and boom.